As two of our favorite cities in the world, how could we possibly leave out adventures in Paris and London? Food, fun, and frolicking abound in this episode of Up, Up, and Away.
Oh, and food. Did we mention food? Because there's also food. Lots and lots of food. Yummy, yummy food. As the train carried us into Paris, our adventure began. Not at the beginning, but where most people end their journey. So we've come to the Cimetière Père Lachaise, the cemetery where a lot of famous people are buried. Jim Morrison is here, for example. There are Proust, Marcel Proust is here, Edith Piaf, and Oscar Wilde. So two of our heroes, Oscar Wilde, and this guy right here, Georges Méliès. I think we say Méliès in English, I don't know. In any case, he's the father of cinema, of modern cinema. And he's a créateur du spectacle cinématographique. So spectacle and cinema, and that's such a huge part of our lives. We had to come here and at least say hi. I'm already much more moved than I was at that Hugo film, just standing next to his gravesite. So thanks, Georges. Merci beaucoup. And now maybe off to see Oscar Wilde.
This site looks popular. We have arrived at the final resting place of Oscar Wilde. He said, "Death and vulgarity are the only two facts in the 19th century that one cannot explain away." Hopefully he doesn't find this amorous desecration of his tomb too vulgar.
These fat pigeons made us hungry. Time to feed our faces. Luckily, Paris is an endless font of delectable digestibles, and Tara's always good at finding them. And macarons come in a rainbow of flavors, so we had to try them all. We're professionals, damn it!
No tasty treat is more French than the croque-monsieur. And in a cafe near the Bastille, I found the best one in Paris. Just call me Madame Croque-monsieur.
This is a classic Parisian scene. And by that I mean streets choked with traffic. Which is why sometimes it's better to travel on foot, close to the Seine. Plus, it offers some of the best views. Like, for example, this one. Sanctuary! Sanctuary! Quasimodo, anyone?
We didn't have much time, but no trip is complete without at least a quick stop into the Louvre as we pretended we were on a secret Da Vinci Code mission. Apparently, we weren't the only people with this idea.
The only reason we were able to get this close is that I had brought a long lens. Tara, don't just stand there! They're on the lookout for us! We woke up early to visit the palace at Versailles, but...
So we're here at the Chateau de Versailles. And as you can see, we can't see anything because it's super foggy. So I hope we're in the right place. Let's go in.
Luckily, the fog finally lifted, and we only had to wait in line for 3 hours. Man, they've got a room for everything in this place. A palace. palace place. Quick, this way, to the beautiful ceiling! I know. I couldn't stop marveling at the ceilings.
And now my favorite part, the Hall of Mirrors. So shiny, so sparkly. Everything is sparkly here. But it isn't just the main palace. Just as exciting is the Petit Trianon, where Marie Antoinette had her very own estate.
And after a long, hard day walking around the palace, it was time to reward ourselves with one of the best creme brulees we had ever eaten. As you can see by the look on my face. Sorry, Tara, there's only enough for me. Hope I don't make you feel too miserable.
Quickly over there.
Then it was time to visit Pigalle, home of the Moulin Rouge, which, incidentally, was the movie we saw on our very first date.
Pigalle is also known as the Red Light District, as can be evidenced by the copious neon signs promising, well, a different kind of adventure.
For our last day in Paris, we addressed the elephant in the room, or rather, the tower.
For our New Year's Eve feast, we chose a restaurant in Sacré-Cœur, one of the most romantic spots in Paris, and on New Year's Eve, even more alluring. Time to bid adieu to Paris. Luckily, they built a tunnel from Paris to London to make it easier for us. All aboard! There are so many recognizable sights in London, it was hard not to point a camera out the window even during the taxi ride from the station to the hotel.
So what we're doing now is we are taking the DLR into London to catch the tube, and then we're gonna travel around a little bit, and we are actually gonna get off at Monument, and we are gonna walk around and see some of the beautiful sights on the River Thames before we head over this way to the Covent Garden area and Drury Lane to see our play. So right now we're pretty much smack dab right in the middle of London. We're right outside the Tower of London, and right behind me there's some of what I think is one of my favorite things about London is the history. And you can see there's an old wall that has probably seen many wars and many births and many deaths, and I just think that's super cool. So that's one of the things that I love the most about being in London.
In London, they have a lot of scary things because it was medieval and they knew how to do scary things like these spikes. This means don't climb over or you'll get stabbed. And these are a list of all the people who got stabbed and died trying to get over these spikes.
Or the list of the merchant navy men who died at sea. Whatever, Yuri.
Whatever.
We don't need to read monument signs to know what we're doing. What? The merchant navy fishing fleets? Or the scary spiky men who died?
This is made up London. Made up, I'll make it up.
It's much more exciting that way.
So here we are at the Tower of London. You can tell it's the Tower of London because it says Tower of London, World Heritage Site right over there. Big letters. That over there is an example of modern London, clearly where the aliens landed, or perhaps a futuristic science fiction house. And this is the Tower of London, where people were jailed, and there are crows in there, and if they leave, then the tower falls down, and I think there's some jewels in there that are also kept. And this is why we also love traveling, and especially in London. Treats like ice cream and chocolate, of which there are plenty.
Which is your favorite to get?
All of them.
So behind me, you will see the Tower Bridge. Now, I love this beautiful architecture in this
That's not London Bridge?
No, and surprisingly enough, London Bridge is actually located in Arizona, in the United States.
That makes no sense.
I know, it makes no sense to me at all. I think that they sold it at some point, maybe like in the 70s. I'm probably wrong on that.
Right, so they flew the bridge from London. They flew London Bridge to Phoenix.
So now it's actually technically in Arizona. But this is the Tower Bridge, and so many people that come to London come to visit that and think that that is actually London Bridge, and it's not.
But it's in London, and it's a bridge.
That's true, so I guess it is a London Bridge, but it is not the London Bridge.
This is All Hallows Church. All Hallows Church is significant because it's almost Halloween, otherwise known as All Hallows Eve. There's another church called Some Hallows Church, which is not as good as this one because this is All Hallows Church.
So right now we are on the Custom House walkway right by the River Thames. You can almost reach out and touch that murky brown water, which I don't recommend you touch. And behind me is the tallest building in London. To me, it looks like they haven't quite finished the top, but perhaps that's what the architects devised when they created their tallest building for London.
So if you look on a map, this bridge right here is called London Bridge. Not very majestic. Not a very highfalutin bridge at all, because the real London Bridge is in Arizona. They should just name this boring bridge. Or not even name it London Bridge, they should just call it Bridge.
Just Bridge?
Just Bridge.
Okay. We can petition with the council and see what they have to say.
I will petition the Council of Lords and Ladies. Join me in the Riverside Walk West as we take a journey into the history of London. microphone can pick up smells. There are smells down here that I can only assume are the smells. Actually, it smells a little more like a spa, which probably didn't smell like what London uses to. And there's a path along the way here, which is also probably not exactly what you would find. Can you hear history? Or is it but the ghosts of London's past?
Did you I got scared. Now behind me is the location of the new Globe Theater, because the old Globe, obviously the traditional Globe, burnt down and they had to rebuild it in modern times when everyone got so excited about history. And actually, when I studied over here at the London Academy of Theatre for college, we actually came to the Globe and we got to do workshops here and see shows here, and it was really a wonderful time. But you'll notice they've tried to re-thatch the roof, and it looks like it's even getting a little moss on the top, which is very exciting. And,
what's the Globe famous for?
It is famous for housing many of Shakespeare's plays. Hey Yuri, what's going on?
I'm eating fish and chips in front of a fake TARDIS. Red TARDIS.
So you don't think you could take off and travel in time like a Time Lord?
Not in this one.
So this is one of my favorite things about London, just the architecture that you can follow next to each other is so varied. So you've got churches and amazing old buildings. And they're just all lined up, one after the other, next to each other.
And licorice wands.
I don't know how to get you in focus. There you go. I got it. So right now, we are smack dab in the middle of the West End, and we are going to walk up and get our play tickets to see Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And I've got my chocolate right here.
And with Tara warming up for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, we said cheerio to jolly old London. Thanks so much for joining us during our time across the pond. See you next time, up, up, and away. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do it. Want to change the world? There's nothing to it.